This video is being taken at 3:09 p.m. on Tuesday, October 2nd, 2012. This is a video being taken from the second story of 4 Richmond Road, West Hartford, Connecticut, looking south towards 2 Richmond Road, West Hartford, Connecticut. As this video shows, today there's been heavy rain. You can see, looking in this direction, that there is no surface water flow from 4 Richmond Road south onto 2 Richmond Road. At the meeting last week between myself and the neighbor that owns 2 Richmond Road, as well as Mr. Pudlick from the West Hartford, from the town of West Hartford, along with the town engineer from the town of West Hartford. Mr. Pudlick is the zoning enforcement officer. It was claimed that part of the drainage, surface water drainage problem, which you see depicted here, showing the water pouring north from 2 Richmond Road to the property line with 4 Richmond Road, and then running south through the trench or swale there along the property line where the fence is. It was claimed during the meeting last week that at least some portion of that water was flowing from 2 Richmond Road, from 4 Richmond Road, from the front yard to the west there, and flowing along here. As this video shows, on a day of heavy rain, there is absolutely no surface water flow from 4 Richmond Road south towards 2 Richmond Road. That does not happen, and it never has happened. There is no surface water flow. All of the surface water which is collecting along in that swale and trench is coming from 2 Richmond Road, flowing north along the depression that can be clearly seen there. That is where the water is coming from. That is a condition that did not exist prior to various changes that were done on 2 Richmond Road, which are depicted here. The construction of this fence and the enclosure of that area along the north side of 2 Richmond Road, which created a fenced-in area with no vegetation. As you can see, it is full of all sorts of random equipment. It is no longer absorbing water. There's very little water infiltration in there anymore. You can also see the water pouring off of the roof of 2 Richmond Road without a gutter, pours down onto the ground. That is another condition that did not exist prior to certain changes that were made by the owner of 2 Richmond Road in the last few years. Prior to the construction of what you see today, there was a flat roof garage which had the same ground level footprint, but all of the water that had been on the old flat roofed one-story garage was drained to the rear. More importantly was, a few years ago, the creation of what you see here, which is a widening of the driveway at 2 Richmond Road, which was done by use of plastic tarp that was put down, and then gravel was placed on top. As you can see, there is almost no infiltration of water in there. There is essentially a zero water infiltration rate. That is another condition that did not exist prior to about 6 or 7 years ago, when the current owner of 2 Richmond Road made these changes. The water that you can see flowing along the surface here in that driveway that surface water flow did not exist prior to the purchase of the home by the current owner and the changes that he made. This entire condition that you can see here with surface water, it's a mess, it's ugly, it's unsanitary, creates a massive flow problem. All of that was caused by these changes that were done at 2 Richmond Road. However, despite the obvious nature of these changes and the effect that they have had, during the discussion last week with the town zoning enforcement officer and the town engineer, it was claimed that there was nothing improper about the changes that were done at 2 Richmond Road, that there was no violation on his part, and that, in fact, some of the water problem that was created there was somehow caused by surface water flowing from 4 Richmond Road south onto 2 Richmond Road. As you can see, none of that makes any sense. None of that is demonstrated by this video or any of the other videos that we have taken. All of the water problems were created by changes done at 2 Richmond Road. This is the end of the tape.